We're back.
We're back.
And you are bending into what looks to be a wonderful Western Pools. Is it a big F1 or a carp, do you think?
It feel more F1-y than carp, to be honest with you, but it's, well, it's pulling back, that's the main thing.
It is, isn't it? A lovely little fast bite, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And we're testing today the Drennan Acolyte commercial pellet waggler rods. Got an 11-foot model here. New addition from Drennan, and unlike a few things that we've tested recently, with this particular rod, you were very excited when you got it out. You quite liked it.
Yeah, and there was one thing that was screamingly obvious when I got it out, Tom, and I said to you about it straight away, and what was that?
The size of the guides, Mill.
Yes, so straight away, what I thought was, aside from Drennan being an Acolyte, being a name that's associated with quality already, I straight away thought, well, they've thought about this rod, because as we know, pellet waggler fishing takes on varying shapes and sizes, but ultimately, a lot of the time, it's about casting as light a waggler as you can get away with fairly strong line. And a bigger guide is only ever going to help that, but it could also hinder a rod if it's done wrong.
Yeah, look at that action. That's interesting. It's not really what I call a through action, that. It's more of a mid-action, isn't it, really? Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, it is. It's, I feel like these straight away, I feel like they're a rod that are for playing, you know, it's proper, not traditional pellet waggler fishing, but, you know, big carp, you know, obviously suitable for handling bigger fish, suitable for for casting bigger wagglers. It feels like a proper pellet waggler.
That's a lovely fish, isn't it? Look at that. Wow. Beautiful common, that is.
Yeah.
That's worth a photo, isn't he?
Yeah, that's how we like it. Look at that. Look at that netting shot. Look at that. That's
oh,
lovely, Tom.
beautiful. Glistening in the afternoon light, sir.
So yeah, so straight away, first point was the bigger guides. Now I say the worry with that is, does it affect the way the rod? Obviously, these Drennan rods are very much slim blanks, very much light action. So would a bigger guide affect that? Well, clearly not.
No.
It seems to cast lovely. We've been casting. You know, we've had to work hard to get these fish up. You know, they don't really want to be on the waggler today, and
so it's low pressure, isn't it?
So we've done a lot of casting, and I've not felt like it's. Not felt like it's. I mean, I'd say that's probably, you know, that's not the biggest fish you're going to catch on a pellet waggler, is it?
5 or 6 pound, though, isn't it?
But it's handled that nice, and
yeah, gorgeous carp, that, isn't it?
yeah. Should we see if we can catch another one with it?
Yeah, I think
I'll
so.
perhaps let you try and catch one with it, Tom.
No, have another go. I enjoy watching you on the rod and line. It's a joy to behold, me old.
Are you saying you don't enjoy watching me on a pole, Tom?
Now, there's no need to be like that, is there? You know.
Yeah, so back to the rod anyway. So yeah, so that was the first thing that stood out for me. I was like, right, this rod has been thought about. What are your impressions of it?
Well, I did a little bit of reading. You know me, pal. Always do my research.
Yeah,
There's three in the
do
range.
zero research. You're the research man, aren't you?
10 foot, 11 foot, 12 foot in the range. Now, I use myself for this sort of work the 11 foot Guru Aventus waggler rods, which I absolutely love. They are quite different to that. You know, I say we're looking at that action there. That's sort of a mid-action rod. That does give you a bit more control, I suppose, a bit more power. But would you be worried you might pull out more fish because you've not got that real parabolic through action?
I think I'd be more worried if I was catching F1s or something, you know, fishing that bit more intricate style fishing.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean about the action. So I use many rods for pellet waggler fishing. I still use my old tri-cast rods, and they were very through. You know, they bend to the reel.
Yeah.
Which isn't for everyone, but actually that had its. You know, they were actually really good rods for catching great big carp. You know, places like viaducts and stuff where you're catching double-figure fish.
Yeah.
You know, but sometimes it could become too far the other way. You could lose control almost, or it would just bend in too much.
Yes.
I also use the cadence rods, which we reviewed before. I think you're right. You said 11 foot. 11 foot for me is optimum pellet waggler.
Yeah, I love 11 foot rods.
I'd be using a 12 if I was fishing deeper.
Yeah.
I mean, we've dropped down to about 3 foot here, but if I was having to go down to 5, 6 foot, I'd be looking at fishing a 12 foot rod.
Yeah.
And likewise if I was casting further and bigger wagglers. But I think general pellet waggler fishing, 11 foot is absolutely ideal.
It's that compromise, isn't it, to me? The control of longer rods is far superior, line control, but it's just playing fish, isn't it? They come up further out. You just have less control, I think, playing fish, don't you, on a longer rod?
So I think this rod, it's important to point out it's a two-piece rod, which is, you know, the way these days. I don't think, you know, there's nothing revolutionary about that, but obviously it's good for storage and what have you, ready-made. It's got the normal. I've used, you know, I don't own any Acolyte rods, but I've used them. Lots of customers use them. I think, you know, that name is synonymous with quality, and this blank is along those, you know, it looks the same as all the other Acolyte rods that I've held in its build and its designs and features and handle. And
yeah, I mean, some of the float rods I bought when I started coming on your river on the Y, I bought that 17-foot Acolyte float. That's probably the favourite rod I own. That the silverfish gear from them is beautiful, isn't it? It's interesting. I've been doing a lot of commercial fishing lately, and I've not seen a great amount of Drennan tackle on the bank. I definitely think they've got some work to do in that area, to be fair.
Yeah, I'd agree. Well, it's not certainly not to this stage with Pellet Waggler rods. They've not even been on my radar.
No,
that might not be their fault, but it's certainly, you know, as you say, work to do in that area.
Yeah, I mean, look, what disadvantage is there to big guides? The only thing I can think of would be weight. But then again, when I took that out of the packet and felt it for the first time this morning, it really did strike me how light it is. So they've managed to create something quite special, really, haven't they?
Yeah. I wonder if they, you know, obviously they've chosen a bigger guide for the reasons. Do they have to be a specialist guide? Because, you know, would another type of guide, you know, add too much weight or something? Are they a special guide? Or I don't know, but they're certainly, they don't feel out of place.
No.
They've not changed the rod, but when you look at it, when you first got the rod out, it was the most noticeable thing about it. So, I mean, so far, so good.
What's it like in the hand? I mean, the length of that handle, how are you finding that?
Yeah, it's fine, absolutely fine for me. It's got, you know, it's going, what's that going, like 10 inches past my elbow there.
Yeah.
I don't see it, maybe that's just for balance of the rod, I would imagine. I don't think it's necessarily necessary to have it that length, but I say it's all about balance, isn't it, of the rod, and that's what they do get right with it, or they have done to this point with Acolyte rods, the balance of them, whatever length or whatever the application has been.
Yeah.
There's thought, you know, there's a proper design process goes in.
Well, it's a two-piece rod as well, so it's designed obviously to go in a ready hold all sort of in two pieces. Yeah, I think it's lovely. I think it's really, really nice.
That wind's getting a bit tricky. Yeah, it's just, you know, I would like to. I mean, we're using it in a fairly sort of sedate sort of setting today, in the fact that it's, you know, we're going to hopefully catch some carp, some decent carp, but probably some F1s as well. And it looks, you know, I wouldn't say we're absolutely going to put it into beast mode, if you like.
No, it's tricky as well. So just because of that pressure drop last night, I mean, and I think we've got a bomb rod to test in a little while. I think that'll be the way to go with the pressure. But yeah, I think.
I just think in general, like I say, we're using, you know, I've already done God knows how many casts, and it doesn't feel, you know, straight away I'm not thinking, oh, this feels funny or anything. It just feels like I'm using a Pellet Waggler rod. But I would say so far the most interesting part about this bit rod has been actually playing a fish on it rather than any of the casting or anything like that.
Yeah, I was surprised, I'll be honest. I was expecting a classic sort of through action, but it wasn't, was it?
No. Seems quick on the strike. The two bites that I've struck at have been, you know, it feels fairly responsive there.
Yeah, you picked your line up all right.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's interesting, isn't it? We just have to keep working and see if we can hook another one.
Yeah. Well, Tom, what do you reckon?
It's I think it's a lovely action, isn't it?
Do you know,
it's got some power, real power. But
it looks totally, obviously stood up here now looking at it. It is different, but yeah.
Might need the old landing net, my old
well,
beauty.
you might do, Tom. You might do. What did you do with
Well,
that?
I did some expert gillian for you. Oh, that's a big F1. Oh, thank you very much, sir. Look at that, proper Western Pools F1. And this is the point where you need that little bit of give in the blank, innit? When they're under your feet and banging their heads and.
Yeah, but maybe smaller F1s. I perhaps wouldn't be so confident with it, but actually
That's lovely, isn't it?
I like it.
I do. I really like it.
It just looked different, Tom. When it got out of the bag, it looks different.
Yeah, I could tell straight away you
I could see
appreciate
why.
it, didn't you?
Yeah, I could see why it looked different, and I think it's just watch you. Big F1, isn't it?
It's gorgeous, that, isn't it? Big old dog. I love Western Pool. It's full of fish like this. I mean, look at that. Beautiful.
Lovely, lovely. You fooled him, Tom.
Oh,
You fooled him, Tom. So yeah, so I think I can imagine, right? So this is just me thinking of ideal pellet waggler scenarios.
yeah,
I imagine these being at their absolute optimum best at somewhere like a Gold Valley,
yeah,
like a Boddington.
yeah.
I just see they'd be right, where you're perhaps using like that, like 10 gram floats. I'm not saying, and that's not suggesting they're a beefed up rod. I'm not suggesting that. I just feel like I think that's where these rods were probably tested and,
Yes.
you know what I mean?
Developed.
They've got that in them. Some of the pellet waggler rods, some of the lighter ones these days. You just rock around the end, Tom.
I've not. Oh,
Just give it a
Dave.
swing out like
A little swing like
that.
that.
Give it a little waggle on the wall.
There we are.
There you
There we
go.
are.
Yeah, I just think that's where they've been. It's almost like that's where they've been designed for. If you know what I mean?
A bit short on that one, the old pal.
Um,
No, definitely. It's lovely in the hand. It's light. It's very usable. As you say, it definitely feels like it's got the capacity to do more, doesn't it? Bigger floats, bigger casts. And imagine, I mean, this is the 11 foot. Obviously, there's a 12 foot in this range as well, isn't there? Oh, see that little dink on the drop
they
then?
come in now, aren't they? Right, Tom. Price point.
Price
Talk
point.
to me.
I think these are very sensibly priced, mate. 200 quid is the ballpark figure for these. So the 11 footer is about 200, the 12 footer about 220, and you can get the 10 footer for a shade under 200 quid, depending on where you shop. Obviously, Wickersley Angling have kindly supported us on this, so just to say you can see the full range in there. But I don't think that is a bad price for that. In fact, I think it's pretty good value.
No, I've got no problem. That feels like a 200 quid rod to me. No problem with that at all. So let's talk about the market. Who's the audience?
What are they up against, sort of thing?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. What are we talking here? We're talking a top end piece of equipment for someone who fishes pellet waggler. I suggest some people just buy equipment because they love buying equipment. They might pick up a pellet waggler rod once in a blue moon. But if you're a regular pellet angler, pellet waggler angler, it's easy for me to say. You'd buy this and you'd feel like, I'd buy it and I'd feel like it would be just the job for me. Great. Most anglers like to pair things up. They'd have two. What would you get? What could you get the same quality rod for a lesser price?
Should we have a look? Should we have a look what it's up against in the market? Let's do some market research, pal, and just see. So I'm going to say Guru Aventus pellet waggler. That's the one rods I use. But let's see how much they are RRP. So for the equivalent 11-foot Guru Aventus rod, you are looking at over 300 quid. The cheapest price I can see here is 317 quid. So it's 100 quid more.
Okay, and you've used those rods?
Yeah.
So what would you say is the difference?
Right, being brutally honest, I do prefer them rods. I think the action's a tiny bit softer.
A bit more of an all-round action. You could do everything with them. Is
Yeah.
that what you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I would say that they're better, but are they 100 quid better? I don't know. I don't know.
So, for instance, I've got, I don't, in my bag, I probably own 6 or 7 different pellet waggler rods. Ooh, missed that one. Six or 7 different pellet waggler rods. Either ones that I've upgraded. I've never sold any. I keep the same ones. I've got ones that I'll use for lighter, a bit more F1 work, that sort of thing. And I've got some heavier action ones as well. I don't need 2 of the same. I don't own 2 of the same pellet waggler rods.
No.
Would that be a general? Would people? Is that what people? Because I'll have a 12. I can't think of a situation where I've needed 2 identical length rods set up. In this instance, we're using a 6 gram waggler, and if I was going all out for pellet waggler on a venue, I'd probably have a 6 gram and maybe one with an 8 grams or even a heavier 10 gram. And for that, I'd probably want a longer rod, so I'd have like a 10 and 11. So
yeah. You're having a mix of size rods
Yeah.
to suit different situations rather than a pair of, say,
Yeah.
11 footers.
So so in this range, I can do that. I can buy the 11 foot and 12 foot, and I've got that covered. Right?
I'm just looking here. Preston do one, which is on the same price point, the Superior X. That's 200 quid. So obviously that's another one in that market competing for them anglers.
Right, okay. So
I love the big guides though. I do think that is a feature that,
for me, it's a USP, Tom.
yeah, I think so.
I think I haven't seen that before. I have. That's a lie. I've seen it on bigger rods, but they have been big rods. You know,
Ooh,
they've
see
been,
that one roll then?
Yeah.
Oh,
I've got them. I'm like the Pied Piper here, Tom. They're coming.
you're enjoying yourself, I can tell. You're going to catch another one in a minute, you know.
There's some things that just float your boat, and
Yeah.
this is mine.
Can I ask you a question, Paul? You know what I'm like, devil's advocate, right?
Go on.
So, I regard you as a bit of a pellet waggler master. I think you're one of the very best at this style of fishing. Let's just say I was new to match fishing and I wanted to buy a pellet waggler rod, but I could only afford one. What length would you go for?
11 foot.
Right.
11 foot is the optimum.
So this length, same length as
Yeah,
this?
I would say that would be, and I never, we have had this tendency in recent years to go with shorter rods, 10 footers, and I use them all in different, varying environments, but 11 foot would be the optimum length for me. So, yeah, if I was going to buy one rod, it would be 11 foot.
Well, there you are, folks. So this is the Drennan Acolyte commercial 11-foot pellet waggler. It gets a big thumbs up from us. Check it out. If you want to have a feel of one, have a waggle, get yourself to Wickersley Angling because they've got these on the rod rest. And Dave's just
that could have been the perfect ending.
Oh, it could have.
Landing on the fish,
but I still think it's a quality piece of kit and a thumbs up from us, I'd say, wouldn't you, Dave?
Definitely, I love it.